There we go. There's my arms. Ba-da-ba, ba-da-ba, noodle arms. Okay, hopefully that's enough time for it to start recording. You can never tell. Hello, and welcome to the Preacher Plays. And today, the Preacher, that is me, is playing the Inpatient, a game by Supermassive Games, makers of Until Dawn, Rush of Blood, Hidden Agenda, and obviously the Inpatient and the upcoming Bravo team. So there's a large pedigree of games there. So today we're doing the Inpatient. This game is actually a prequel to Until Dawn. And it's essentially you are the star of a movie. If you've ever played Until Dawn, Heavy Rain, Beyond Two Souls, anything like that, you know that this is a game, or this is based on the type of game where you make decisions, and when you make a decision, you get what's called a butterfly effect. If I quickly jump to my my options here, you get the butterfly effect options here. And I have completed this game. I completed it last night, and you get different things in here to show you, the effects you had on the game as you went through it. For the sake of trying not to spoil it for people, there may be spoilers in what I say later on, but for the sake of not trying to spoil it for people, I have started a new game from the beginning. So this is just pretty much the beginning. Just give you an idea of the controls to begin with. Basically, what you do is you hold the left trigger. Sorry, not the left trigger. The left move button on the left move controller, and that will move you forwards at an absolute snail's pace. And to turn, you hang on. Let me just recenter my view. To turn, you hold down the right move button, and you sort of twist the move controller left or right, and that'll turn you. So if you combine the two, you get this. It's a very and if you move the move controller too far around, the right one, the turning one, if you move it too far around, it'll turn you 180 degrees, which you can do by accident quite easily. In my opinion, the controls are actually quite clunky. It's a bit hard to get... Well, it's not hard to get used to, it's just a bit unintuitive. Before I move on, I'll just talk to you about the arms. If you've watched any other reviews, you'll have probably seen people talk about the arms. The arms are weird. The hands and the arms don't feel like they're in the same place as your arms, and they actually feel like they're like 20 foot long each. It's really strange. And the kind of lag behind your movement a little bit. So you end up with this really strange sensation, and you end up... one of the cool things about the arms is they do interact with the environment. So if you knock stuff, it actually hits it. And talking about in addition to that, the sound design on the game is excellent. The use of 3D audio is brilliant. The sound effects are great. And this is something stupid that I got a kick out of. If I tap lightly, you get a small noise, and the harder I tap, you get a louder noise. That's a stupid small detail. Don't know if you can hear that. That's a stupid small detail, but I thought that was excellent. So the sound design and everything in the game is excellent. Graphically, there's a slight bit of shimmering on edges, but other than that, it's probably one of the best looking games on PSVR in terms of graphics. The texture work's excellent, the models are brilliant, the characters are excellent, the animations are great. It's basically just like you saw in all of the trailers. I'm going to start playing a bit of the game now. Just like you saw in all of the trailers, it looks, sounds, and everything like a full-on AAA game.
Did you find a piece of paper with my notes scribbled on it?
Now you can actually talk to people using voice commands. So if I just say, "You bet I did," it listens to what I'm saying. This is hit and miss though. It doesn't always work, but it actually helps you feel a bit more immersed when you're talking to the people.
Notes?
You're quite the poet. See? You're quite the poet. hit and miss.
You really shouldn't have.
Mm-hmm.
I guess
Well,
you was
shouldn't
just
have left it
killing
there,
time,
should you?
but curiosity killed the cat.
Mm-hmm. Now walk away.
Let's get you ready for bed.
Thank you.
Lights out soon.
Okay, this is about to... Very shortly, this will go into a dream sequence. There's a couple of dream sequences through the game.
All right. Lights out.
Here we go. And this is where you get, like, your jump scares and it's the freaky kind of thing. If anybody caught the video of my sister playing Turbo Girl, you know exactly what's coming up here. It's all, like, freaky and spooky. Spooky. To warn anybody, prepare for a jump scare. Yeah. Essentially, the jump scares are just exceptionally loud.
Just follow me.
Like,
Come along.
boo! It's just boo, but really loud. For me, I felt way more uncomfortable in the world of, you know, Resident Evil than in this. I don't know why. Other than trying to freak you out like that with like super loud noises, it doesn't feel freaky or creepy. Let's go the dark route. What the hell? The sound effects are good though. The sound effects are pretty creepy. And you've got to give them credit for that, but it's cheap. It's a cheap scare. It's not so much a tension build, psychological horror. Like I watched if anybody's seen the PC game Visage, I watched the trailer for that, and that freaked me out more than anything in this game. What did you say? I don't know. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you. Yeah, other things I can say about the game. I don't know if you can tell from this intro, but it's played at a very, very slow pace.
You should know we are very encouraged. You're on the road to a complete recovery.
Yep, thanks. Good. The beginning's not too bad like this, but it's you're forever getting into your bed, you're going to sleep, you're getting into the bed, you're going to sleep. I hope you can hear my voice because she's talking over the top of me, but there's no options whatsoever in the options menu to turn sound down. In fact, I'll show you the options menu. If I go to settings, literally all you get is subtitles off, voice control on or off, and rotation free, or you can have 90-degree turn-ins. There's no option to turn any of the sound effects down, so I do apologize if you can't hear me over the top of when the other characters speak. There's nothing I can do about it, unfortunately. Anyway, let's just carry on back into the game. And the menus are quite nice. It's quite a nice hallway. So let's get back. Yeah, so, and it blacks out again. Yeah, you black out a lot. Where you black out when you're standing up, you black out when you're sitting down, you've got to lie down in your bed, you go to sleep, you forever, you know. Oh, you black out when you accidentally turn too far around. Am I supposed to be able to grab this? Ah, it's a memory. You get these little memories. And these are like to help you try and piece together what's going on. What's happening with the story. Who you are, because you've got amnesia, you don't know who you are.
Is that crazy?
Whatever.
Like you'd actually seen something unusual out there. All I see is snow or
Let's go get a sandwich. There's not much to interact with in the world at all. There's a few key things like this. Eat the sandwich, which obviously made it into the trailer. I'm not trying to be too down on the game, but I have to admit, after I completed it last... what do you want? I remember being here in January.
Well, that's a fine way to pass.
So most of the story is done through conversations, and I completed the game last night, and I've left disappointed. I have to admit, there was a point in the game where I was just sort of, I was just getting into it, and I was starting to enjoy it, and let me out, son of a bitch. I was just starting to enjoy it, and because you get to visit some of the locations that you will have seen in Until Dawn, and I really enjoyed Until Dawn. I actually thought it was a great sort of teen horror slasher type thing, like almost like a movie. And I do love the, like, I'm on vacation. I'm on vacation. I'm on vacation. I'm on vacation. Finally.
Not the trusting kind, eh?
See what I mean?
That's fine. But don't worry about me.
I'm not going to worry about you, don't worry.
So,
yeah, I loved Until Dawn. I thought it was a really good game. I played it with my fiance and my sister and stuff. We all sat around it and played it. I hope so. I hope so. There's a butterfly effect that's just happening there.
You?
Oh God. Dunno, what are we doing here? Yeah, I liked Until Dawn, so I like the story types of games. And I liked the world of Until Dawn. I thought the story was cool, and it did creep me out. I got more creeped out playing Until Dawn than I did playing this game,
I'm gonna grab some shut-eye.
to be perfectly honest. And the way that it ended, I mean, I'm not going to spoil it, don't worry, there's no spoilers, but the way that the game ended, I actually said out loud, unintentionally, was that it? Is that it? That can't be is that the end of the game? Is that really it? Like, seriously? I kind of believe that that's the end of the game. Because it just sort of ended in a way that was just dull. And it was just dull. What, am I going to go back to bed again? Yes, here we go. Back to bed. Go to sleep. Black screen again. And the beginning part of the game is not too bad because you feel like it's just getting you into it until you realize that this is pretty much how the entire game goes at this pace. And the fact that you walk so slowly, you have to do so much walking later on in the game.
Shaking the sheets a little last night.
I know, I was dreaming about this game. I had a bad dream. Yep.
Well,
Shut
maybe
up.
It won't be so bad if you say it out loud.
What? Say what out loud? Or maybe it will. Or maybe it will. There we go. Yeah, so there's a lot of walking towards the second half of the game. Like, you have to follow this guy, and it really reminded me, it made me think of why, you know, this is meant to be, like, Until Dawn was based on, like, movies. Heavy Rain was based on, like, cop drama movies and stuff like that. And they were very cinematic. This game is meant to be, like, you were the star of that movie. You're actually in the movie. And whilst that's cool, seeing the locations like the church and stuff like that from Until Dawn, the problem that I have with it is it makes you realize why movies cut. I'm just clicking now. It makes you realize why movies cut. So, you know, like if Neo from the Matrix is in, you know, in his office, and then he has to go and see the Oracle, you don't actually see him walk 16 blocks all the way to go and see the Oracle, because that would be boring as shit. You don't want to watch somebody walking for hours. However, in this game, you do. You walk. You gotta walk and walk and walk to get to places. And in a movie, they just cut from one scene to the next, but you've got to walk at this speed everywhere. This is as fast as it ever gets.
Believe that? Fucking tell me what to do.
There is actually a section where you kind of black out a little bit. Give me another sandwich. May as well eat something around here. Is that it? I can only have one bite. Marvelous.
I want to eat this. I don't know how many more of these.
Oh my god, controls.
So give it up.
There's a section in the game where you hear, like, you black out and you hear all this action going on, and it's like somebody saying, like, oh, we gotta run, we gotta get out of here, we gotta go. And you think, oh, right, is the game gonna, like, I actually thought, is the game gonna mix things up? Am I suddenly gonna be, like, running and sprinting down a hallway, and I'm gonna be looking behind me and seeing, like, I don't know, a monster or somebody shooting a gun at me or something like that, or, you know, it's gonna turn into, like, a cool action sequence. But no, what actually happened was I got a whole load of audio, like, with all of the action sounds and the noises and the guns and the monster noises and stuff like that, and it sounded all so cool. And then the screen faded to black. You heard the screen was already faded to black. Sorry, you heard somebody shut a door, and then they said something like, "Oh, we should be safe in here." Then the screen faded back from black, and then you were back to walking like this. And it was like, really? You had the chance to do something new. You had the chance to change the game mechanics up a bit and have me running away. I mean, if anybody's seen The Mummy Returns, you know, like the Brendan Fraser movie with Mummy Returns, can you remember where they were on the bus at the beginning, the mummies are running along the walls, jumping around and stuff, like crawling on the walls? I would love to have been running down a hallway and seeing monsters behind me, like going, oh my god, it's crawling on the roof, oh my god, it's going to get me, and like trying to run away. And maybe do like a couple of quick time events to like bat them away or something like that. But no, none of that. It was just back to walk. So yeah, the game's alright. I got it for £21 off Shop 2, and I had a 5% discount because it should have been £24.99, so I got it for like £21. If you bought the game digitally off PSN, it was £34.99. £34.99. You know? And for me, if you're a fan of Until Dawn and you want to experience being in that kind of world and learning a bit more of the prequel story, finding out a bit more what happened to the miners, how it all started with the wind. Sorry, that was almost a spoiler. But if you played Until Dawn, you'll know what I'm talking about. But if you're an Until Dawn fan, you'll get a kick out of it. I'm sure you'll get a kick out of it. But not for 20 odd quid. £14.99 I think would be the maximum I think this game should be. And that's if you're a fan.
Mr. Sandman.
That would be if you're a fan of Until Dawn. If you've never played Until Dawn before, and this is the first foray into the Until Dawn type world, I don't know how you'll get much out of this game. And what I mean is, the story relies a lot on these flashbacks, which just give you bits and bobs of information, and it also relies on prior knowledge of what happened in Until Dawn for you to fill in blanks. Because there's a lot in this game which just... What the hell? What happened to my arm? I don't know what... Oh, there, it's back again. This game relies a lot on your knowledge from Until Dawn to fill in the blanks. So if you're totally new to this game, you're going to end up completing it. It took me about 2 hours to complete. And I didn't rush. I did not rush through that. I mean, how can you rush? Look how fast. I'm still in this damn room. I've been telling this review for about 15 minutes or more, and I've not even left this room. You can't really rush in this game. So, anybody saying, oh, you did a speed playthrough just for a review. No, sod that. I did not do a speed playthrough. You can't speed. Look, you cannot speed through this game. There's just very little going on, and the game ends very abruptly, and it ends on a very dull note. Are you waiting for me to do something?
Another patient on the loose. Cue the three-ring circus. Not like it doesn't happen once a week.
And its replayability value for me is very, very low. I mean, this is my second playthrough, and it's because I know that nothing really happens for such a long time in the game. Like virtually, there's like 2 or 3 jump scares. Virtually nothing happens. It's kind of boring to play through again. Yes, you can get different endings to what I got. I got a fairly dull ending. Apparently, there's a slightly better ending. I didn't really get anybody killed or anything. But I'm not compelled to play through again. Until Dawn, I would love to go and play Until Dawn through again. Heavy Rain, I'd like to play that again. They were very compelling stories. The narrative was very good. The characters, I got into the characters and I enjoyed the characters and I felt for the characters in both of those examples. This game, it's so short and it's so disjointed with the whole amnesia and blacking out all the time that spoiler, it's a spoiler or not a spoiler because it depends on what you do. One character got killed in my playthrough. One character got killed, and the other characters tried to, you know, make me feel bad because they were like, oh, it's your fault that, I don't know, David or whatever his name is dead. And here we go, scary noises, loud, hurt my eardrums. They tried to make me feel bad. They're like, oh, you got David killed, and I was just like, who the feck is David? I didn't even learn his name by that point. I was just like, what's going on? I don't really know what's going on. Door slams behind me. And then some monster thing or something. Somebody at the door, creepy noises come along. I don't know. You get the idea. Yeah. So, yeah, you don't even know the characters long enough to give a crap about them. You really don't. So you don't feel invested in the story.
It's been 2 days since they've come.
It's basically a tiny... I could sum up the story. I don't want to spoil it for you, that's the problem. But I could sum up the story in a couple of minutes, and you already kind of know it from Until Dawn if you've played Until Dawn. So
No, I'm sure they'll be back.
it's just an interesting little thing to do if you're a fan of Until Dawn, you know, like a little experience. And paying top dollar for it,
You look like you're right on the edge.
it's not worth the top dollar.
Watch you, but I'm famished.
Now, what I would say, and I'm just totally guessing here, I have no inside knowledge whatsoever, but Until Dawn was free on the PlayStation Store. Until Dawn Rush of Blood was free on the PlayStation Store. I'll bet you money that at some point in the future, this game will also be free on the PlayStation Store. Now, if you got it for free and you're a fan of Until Dawn, I would actually say that's a pretty damn good bargain because, you know, for free, it's like a nice experience to sort of expand your knowledge. It's like DLC for Until Dawn.
So got it, Gordo.
You know, I'd almost be expected that this would be a DLC, VR DLC, for the game Until Dawn, just to sort of like, as an add-on. So if you bought Until Dawn, you got the Inpatient as DLC in like the Game of the Year edition or something like that. That would be actually pretty cool for anybody that owned VR and wanted to buy Until Dawn. Because Until Dawn is the better game, by far. Until Dawn is definitely the better game, it's the more polished game. And you can't even pet him on the
No
head.
idea how hungry I am.
I do.
Who knew that under the right circumstances, bread could taste like caviar?
So yeah, it's...
Bragg will have this whole mess sorted.
Graphics, great. Sound, great. Some nice little innovative things with the whole
I suggest you rest
tap,
up.
tap,
Save your
bang,
energy.
bang, bang.
I'll be around.
Controls, awkward as hell. Arms, just weird and long and, I don't know, Slender Man-esque. Atmosphere, really good, just not that scary and overly reliant on jump scares. Well, I say overly reliant on jump scares, even though there's not many. How can you be over reliant on something that didn't really give you many of them? I'm trying to get to a point where I can show you the atmosphere a bit better, like the with the torch and all that, because that's kind of cool. Because it's dynamic lighting. It uses full dynamic lighting and dynamic shadows and everything, which is when you've got the torch. But it's a very dark game, you know. The way it's lit. I mean, look at that. The corner of the room's virtually pitch black. Like, come on. What have I got to do now? Have I got to go back to sleep again? No? I've got to go and talk to this guy again. See, this is probably about 20 minutes in.
What is it?
And I still haven't left this room. Whatever, that one. I still haven't left this room. Bear in mind this game's like 2 hours long. And I'm still in this room after 20 minutes.
Be patient.
The majority of your... Basically, what? If it's 2 hours long, that's nearly a quarter of your game time is spent in the room. In this one room. Talking to this douchebag. So, yeah. I was hyped for this game. I really wanted to love this game.
Put me in.
And I love Until Dawn. And there was a point. There was one point, like I said, there was one point earlier. There was one point where I nearly reached the point where I thought to myself, I must be the only guy that's actually enjoying this game. And about 2 minutes after that, it just went back to being dull as dishwater and made me walk at a snail's pace. And I just was like, and then ended so abruptly that I was like, is that it? Is that really it?
Hey,
It's just...
come here, goddammit! You sniffing
It's a
son of
disappointment.
bitch as
The
hell.
best way to describe it
You
is a
can't just leave
disappointment.
me in
It
here.
feels like
You can't do this to me.
it
I'm
feels
not
like
fucking goddammit.
Supermassive basically didn't have the funds to go all out on this game. Like they had enough funds to do some great art, to give you a little bit of a backstory in that, but they didn't have
Get rid of me. Like trash.
they didn't have the money to go all out and really flesh this game out and give you different mechanics to do, like I said, like the running and stuff like that. Because there's no fighting, shooting, Not that you have to have shooting or anything like that, but there's no anything for you to do. It's all of the other characters do stuff, and you're kind of just like a silent observer that gets to pick one or two dialogue options, and that's it.
Don't worry about me.
Doesn't even look like I'm gonna get to any of the parts with the torch because I'm running out of things to say about the game now. To be perfectly honest, that's you can probably tell by the sound of my voice and everything I've said that a very hyped up game, a game with great potential. It had a great world, but it had a very dull story, characters that you couldn't get into, controls that were just clunky, a lack of interactivity, and yeah, just wasted potential. Maybe if they make some money off this from people buying it, that they can go all out next time and actually make a full-on experience. But it does make me worry a little bit about Bravo Team, you know, because out of the two games, the Inpatient was priced at $34.99 and Bravo Team was priced at $19.99 on the digital store, and that's by Supermassive. So that kind of gives me an idea of their confidence levels. They must have thought the Inpatient was needed to make more money back because it was more costly, or they put more development time into it, or it was a game that was worthy of more money, whereas Bravo Team's only $19.99. So maybe they just don't have as much faith in that game. I don't know. But yeah, it was. I wait for a sale.
I've almost got a brick free with this spoon.
Wait for a sale. Wait for it to go free, maybe, because I'm pretty sure it'll go free. Yeah, great idea. Whatever. I'm pretty sure it'll be free at some point, either towards the end of this year, or if we're lucky, maybe even a bit sooner.
Come on.
I mean, I'd probably. I think I got more. Yeah, whatever. I think I got more fun from watching my sister play. You know, if you've got somebody in your family that scares easily and lets their imagination run wild with them, because there's nothing really that scary in this game, but I can, you know, somebody's imagination would freak them out. Watch them play. Have fun and interesting time watching them play this game, because you'll laugh and it'll be hilarious. Oh look, I've got my torch now with my super long arms. Look, I'm like a orangutan. It's nearly touching the floor. You know, yeah. I can imagine my sister playing these parts because she couldn't go any further. She got too scared. You know, I can imagine her freaking out in these parts, but she'd be freaking out more from our imagination than anything that actually really happens. So if you got somebody like that, go on, open. Yeah, go on. I can imagine them giving you a good time more than you actually played it yourself. And I think that's it now. I think I'll leave it there. That was Preacher Plays, and this was the Inpatient. Loud, scary noises. Loud noises. That was the Inpatient. And yeah, that was it. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the review. Let me know in the comments below. Like and subscribe if you like what I do. And I'll be back tomorrow to review Cold Iron. Okay, guys. Peace out. Catch you later.